Hello dear friends of Channel Movie Club, welcome to another interesting video. Today I brought a 2012 romantic drama movie called Concubine. The story of the movie is about a beautiful young woman who is forced to go to the palace as a concubine for the king. But after the king's sudden death, she is assaulted by the king's half-brother because his half-brother wants this woman to be his concubine. Will this woman survive the cruel ways of the royal family? Stay tuned to the end of the video to know what happens. The story of the movie takes place at the end of the Joseon dynasty, where Prince Seung-won goes to meet one of the nobles at dinner, and there he accidentally meets his daughter Hwa-yeon and is immediately attracted to her. But before he can do anything, he finds out that Hwa-yeon has fallen in love with Kun-yu, one of the noble workers. When Seung-won's mother finds out that her son is attracted to Hwa-yeon, she warns him to stay away from this girl because it will be bad for his fate to fall in love with a woman of lower rank than him. Seung-won's mother was the concubine of the previous king and is the stepmother of the current king, who is Seung-won's half-brother. The current king has no heir and his wife recently died. Therefore, the king asks his stepmother to find a woman as a new queen for him as soon as possible. So Seung-won's mother asks the nobleman to send her daughter Hwa-yeon to the palace as a concubine for the king. But since Hwa-yeon is in love with someone else and doesn't want to be the king's concubine, she runs away from home one night with Kun-yu. But the next morning, this couple is arrested by the guards. Hwa-yeon's father plans to execute Kun-yu for this betrayal, but Hwa-yeon begs his father not to kill her. In return, Hwa-yeon agrees to be sent to the palace as the king's concubine. 5 years pass and Hwa-yeon becomes queen after giving birth to a son for the king. Seung-won, who has been away from the palace all this time, returns to the palace when he hears that his brother is not well. Next, we see Seung-won visiting Hwa-yeon and giving her a pin because he still has feelings for her. The king's condition worsens and he eventually dies of a mysterious illness. In the meantime, Hwa-yeon's father suspects that he killed the king with poison and plans to reveal the truth. But before he can do anything, he and his followers are suspiciously arrested on the orders of Seung-won's mother. Very soon, Seung-won takes the throne and becomes the next king, and his mother introduces herself as the Queen Mother and takes full control of the royal court. Hwa-yeon and her son are transferred to a smaller and more ordinary residence and are monitored 24 hours a day. Hwa-yeon wants to prove that the previous king was poisoned. After some research, he finds out that the day the previous king died, he actually had lunch with Seung-won's mother. One night, Seung-won visits Hwa-yeon and assures her that he will release her father soon. While talking to her, Hwa-yeon finds out that her ex-lover Kun-yu is working as a eunuch in the palace. Seung-won's mother finds out about Seung-won's secret meeting with Hwa-yeon and tells him that he can have any woman in his harem except Hwa-yeon, because Hwa-yeon is still considered a threat to their rule. Meanwhile, Hwa-yeon goes to see Kun-yu and expresses her happiness to see him alive. He tells him about the previous king's poisoning and asks for his help, but Kun-yu rejects his request. And because of the events that happened to him in the past and the hardships he endured, he cannot forgive him. Kun-yu reveals that after Hwa-yeon left, her father ordered the soldiers to castrate her as punishment, and now Kang-yu is working with Minister Yoon and the Queen Mother and wants Hwa-yeon's father to be executed for what he did to her in the past. When Hwa-yeon finds out about her father's execution, she asks Seung-won to stop the execution. Seung-won also pleads with his mother to stop the execution, but his mother refuses because she wants to punish Hwa-yeon and her family for weakening her power under the previous king. Seung-won is a puppet king. He orders Kun-yu to immediately stop the execution, but Kun-yu does not follow the king's order and goes personally to see the execution. Later, the nobles and ministers request Seung-won and the Queen Mother to expel Hwa-yeon and her son from the palace. But Seung-won refuses because he doesn't want a widow to suffer for her father's sins. He tries to talk to Hwa-yeon because he still has feelings for her, but Hwa-yeon doesn't want to talk to him because she blames the king for her father's death. So Seung-won decides to take Gmok, Hwa-yeon's personal maid, as his concubine. Seung-won's goal is to use this maid to find out more about Hwa-yeon and her personal life. Knowing this information, Seung-won feels more lustful towards Hwa-yeon. The next day, Gmok is given a private room so that he can have a relationship with the king there. While Hwa-yeon is still sad about her father's death and doesn't know what to do in his absence, sometime later, Hwa-yeon goes to see the king and puts the same hairpin that Seung-won gave her years ago on his head, because he decided to please Seung-won and win his opinion. When the Queen Mother finds out about this, She decides to get rid of Hua Yun and her son because she sees them as a threat to her power, so he orders Minister Yun that Hua Yun and his son must be killed. Minister Yun assigns this task to Kang Yu and he agrees to poison Hua Yun and his son, because he intends to guarantee his position in the palace by doing this. Meanwhile, GMOK plans to take Seung-won to his room. Although she was hesitant to become a concubine at first, she now plans to give birth to a prince and establish her position as one of the king's concubines. He even gets closer to Hua Yun and asks her to give him his jewelry to make him look more attractive. GMOK takes the same hairpin that the king gave to Hua Yun a few years ago. After a few years of Seung-won's reign, the Queen Mother pressures him to have a son and preserve their bloodline as the royal family. But Seung-won is tired of being a puppet and goes to see GMOK, who now she is considered as the concubine of the king. The king is very angry when he finds GMOK wearing Hua Yun's hairpin. In order to save his own June, GMOK reveals that Kun Yu is the one he had a relationship with before Hua Yun became his concubine. Seung-won goes to see Hua Yun while very angry and accuses her of hiding Kun Yu in the palace as a fake eunuch, and he even asks him if Kun Yu is the real father of his son or not, but Hua Yun denies all the charges and says she is innocent. Later, Seung-won pulls down Kun Yu's pants and everyone sees that he is indeed castrated, proving that Hua Yun is innocent. After this incident, Seung-won tries to forcefully rape Hua Yun because he could no longer control his desires, but Hua Yun stops him and says that when you become a real king, you can have me. Kang Yu changes his mind after this incident and now thinks that Hua Yun is really the father of the boy. As a result, he suggests to Hua Yun to run away from the palace together and start a new life. But Hua Yun refuses and says that she will not risk her son's life and will protect him at any cost. One day, under the orders of Queen Mother and Minister Yun, Kang Yu prepares a poison to kill Hua Yun and her son. But she reverses her role and puts poison in Seung-won's potion, hoping to kill him and make Hua Yun's son the new king. But Seung-won doesn't drink this medicinal drink and orders Kang Yu to drink it himself. Having no choice, Kang Yu drinks the medicinal drink and starts vomiting blood because of the poison in it. Seung-won is shocked by this and decides to save Kang Yu because he wants to know the truth. After that, they interrogate the doctor and find out that the doctor is Minister Yun and Minister Yun works directly under the supervision of the Queen Mother. And this suspicion arises that the Queen Mother tried to kill the king. After these events, Hua Yun sends her son to a safe place because she knows that a storm will start in the palace soon. Later, he was arrested by the Queen Mother and accused of treason. The Queen Mother orders Minister Yun to kill Hua Yun so they can get rid of him. But before they can do that, Seung-won sends royal guards to arrest Minister Yun. Meanwhile, Seung-won confronts his mother and accuses her of planning to kill him along with Hua Yun and her son in order to get the throne. The Queen Mother denies these accusations and tells the king that she really cares about him. The Queen Mother reveals that she poisoned the previous king so that Seung-won could ascend the throne. Seung-won is horrified to hear this because he never intended to be king and he loved his half-brother very much. Seung-won takes Kang Yu and Minister Yun to the court to confirm if they are planning to poison the king together. When Seung-won asks Kang Yu who ordered to poison the king, Kun Yu lies that the Queen Mother and Minister Yun ordered Seung-won to be poisoned. After being interrogated and hearing these words, Seung-won feels bad and orders the royal guards to execute all the people responsible for this betrayal. By the order of the king, the Queen Mother should be under house arrest forever. When Kun Yu is being taken to be executed, Hua Yun visits him to thank him for keeping his promise. When Kang Yu asks Hua Yun to take care of their son after his death, Hua Yun tells him that the prince is nobody's son and only her son. Kang Yu feels bad hearing this because he sacrificed his life to save Hua Yun and her child, even though it might not be his child. Later we see Hua Yun going to see Seung-won. Now Seung-won has become a real king and Hua Yun accepts his love and the two flirt with each other again. But after the relationship, Hua Yun stabs Seung-won in the neck with the same hairpin. The woman that Seung-won loved more than anyone in his life and did everything to win her love. Now he ends his life. Sometime later, the Queen Mother is also killed and Hua Yun and her son return to the royal court. When Hua Yun's son was playing on the throne, the door closes behind them and Hua Yun realizes that he can't go back. The movie ends here. This was the story of the movie Concubine. If you liked this video, become a member of our channel so that you can watch more videos.